Too Much Dip Podcast, the show where nothing is out of bounds. I'm Dave. I'm a host today. Joining me in studio, prompt as always and ready to produce, Randy Trembacki.
That's just a great pun. Thank you, Dave. I enjoyed that quite a lot. That's what I'll have to say because I'm out on sports.
Okay, Dylan Shivery.
Says the only guy who went to a sporting event over the weekend.
It's a great point. I kind of went.
Dave kind of went.
I was asking Brady. I'm like, do you think I'm the only one in the stadium that went to a Japanese baseball game less than a week ago?
Anyway, I just want to talk sports, man. That's all. That's the only reason I'm here.
This dude is mad at Rex for sports, yo.
I want to talk sports. It's been a good weekend of it.
Did you pop your joy mode?
No, I didn't. I was so excited for sports, I didn't need it.
He doesn't need any PEDs.
Didn't need any PEDs, man.
That thing's hard. Spit on that thing. Remember that?
Yeah, man. She's still doing her thing, man.
Yeah.
Man, she's out there.
I wonder if she's still dating the guy.
What's the meme of the day? Have you checked on it?
No, they rebranded it since. It got so much blowback. It's no longer being referred to as meme of the day.
Okay.
For whatever reason. Here's the podcaster of the day coming to us live from Madison. It's KJ.
Happy to be here with you, fellas. We are in the thick of things as it is for football season, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, so what's the deal? Is this fucker going to eat the dog shit or what? Not KJ, the other guy.
I think he has resurfaced after going into hiding, and I think he said it ain't happening. Unless it's an imposter, which is very, very likely as well.
Unless I'm wrong, this is not like a guy who has any kind of following. This is just a dude who. Do you know KJ?
I don't know. Can you reset for me?
Oh, Florida
you missed
State
this entirely?
Oh man,
I saw like half a headline, but I don't know the
So
history.
there's a
of it.
Florida State fan, and after their Week 1 loss to Georgia Tech, he got on the Twitter and he said, "If Florida State loses to Boston College, I will eat dog shit from a red Solo cup, and I will video it and put it on. And basically, like I'm going to show everybody
with a spoon."
With a spoon. And as you know, Florida State lost last night, and he has deleted his Twitter account, and everyone's trying to find him. He is the main character of the day.
I think he's a civilian. Like, I don't think he's a guy who does content for a living. So this is a real crossroads for him because he could parlay this. I'm not saying to Haley Welch Hawk Tua levels of fame, but some low-level sports internet fame.
You think you should eat the shit?
I mean, bro, eat the shit. Sometimes to be the shit, you got to eat the shit.
That's tough, man.
It is tough shit. It's not recommended. Like if you were to ask your doctor, like, should I do this? They would probably be like, no. But if you are, here's a round of antibiotics, because you're going to get something, right?
Possibly so, yeah. It's not recommended to eat dog shit.
Oh, man. Bro, I can't believe this app is free, is what I was saying when I was reading it. Twitter.
I like that.
Twitter, yo.
That's good.
Anyway, hey, real quick, shout out to our good friends at Rollback.
Mm-hmm.
Use code WASHED20, WASHED20.
I currently have on the DKR, which is one of the licensed University of Texas polos they release, and it is very cool. Very into it. They have a ton of other schools available as well, QZs and polos and hoodies, all kinds of fun stuff. And, of course, their normal stuff. They got joggers, swim trunks, polos. We love Rowback, and so will you. Rowback.com. Use promo code WASHED20 for 20% off at checkout.
What's so funny?
Yeah, their joggers look really good with flip-flops, too, if you're Brett Merritt.
It's the second podcast in a row we're ripping on Brett Merritt.
Randy just hit Brett with a
Took a sawed off to his dome.
Are we sure that was
is Brett taking his fashion advice not from retail therapy, but only from Dylan's Trap House? Like he's just mimicking the characters.
That's a really good comp, yeah.
That's a good callback,
That's pretty good. So guys, it came. Week 1, college
football has arrived. Week 1 is in the books.
Where do we begin?
Let's just start with Florida State.
Mm.
It's week 1. They already have 2 losses. It's pretty tough. Yeah, they lost to Boston College last night, and they really were like never even in the game. DJ Ungalele, again, I'm not sure if that's how you say it. I think it is. He looked even worse this game somehow. I think I'm saying it right.
No, I'm not.
I believe in you. I've only gone DJU since we learned about him a few years ago. I respect the effort.
Yeah,
I take chances.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
No, that's the thing about me.
No. You're right.
He had a couple of passes that were like just you could tell he just has no confidence whatsoever in what's going to happen once he releases the ball. And I truly feel for the guy. For his sake, for his mentals, I think he needs to just sit for a little bit and just kind of regain his composure and let the backup take a shot because this dude's just getting just dragged everywhere. I feel really bad for him still. He's not good.
Who's their B up?
I believe that's short for backup.
We are not.
Who's their QB2?
I don't know, actually. Are
Um,
you saying there's no way he's that bad?
no,
Brock Glenn, if you recall.
Brock,
he's,
yeah.
the young gentleman who got a first day bid after Jordan Travis went down to injury.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's not good either, it turns out. Or he
Oh my
wasn't last
God.
year.
Okay, that's right.
He's had an offseason to get better. Yeah, they're struggling. They were ranked number 10 to start the season, and they have fallen out of the top 25 already after the
Dude.
2 losses. Which is
Their
not a surprise.
shittiness is contagious across their offense because they had a number of dropped balls yesterday that were from very good
Yeah.
players, and you're just like, because I was watching it and I was actually pulling for the comeback just because I started to feel so bad for DJU. I was like, come on, man, like
Yeah.
let's just get one.
They just have the mindset that like nothing good's going to happen to us on this play.
It
and, like,
legitimately looked like just like a little, you know how like the woke mind virus is contagious.
sure.
It was like the
Yeah.
it was like the bad football mind virus.
He had one interception. He threw it off his back foot, and it just sailed
It was terrible.
like 5 yards over his, I think it was his tight end's head, and the safety was just camped under it. Like, okay, got the ball. And then he had like a corner out in the end zone that he overthrew by another few yards.
That
It
was the one for
wide
me. That,
open.
yeah, that's the one that's really demoralizing for the boys.
So he's gonna, I don't know where they go from here, but this is just the kind of a start to a season that just starts to spiral, and recruits start to look elsewhere, and it's just not a good situation in Tallahassee.
So they've got week off, and then they got Memphis. We got
Former home of Mike Norvell.
and you got the Ponies coming up at the end of the month. KJ, you don't want to be that one team.
You definitely don't want to be that one team, as that'll be the SMU ACC debut in Dallas. On Florida State, it's tough because DJU does not play defensive line or linebacker, and their run defense is embarrassingly bad. Like, as bad as Florida State's been over the years between Jameis and Jordan Travis, they always had a couple dudes on defense who could, still get drafted early, still make a difference. And I don't know who their coordinator is. I don't know if something changed, but their defense is just getting embarrassed. It's one thing to just throw the game away. Like, they had a couple of those big moments, a couple fourth down efforts last night, but like Georgia Tech, we're sitting here talking about about Haynes King's running ability. Like, it's embarrassing when that's like the takeaway after you play Florida State. That's insane.
I was told that was potentially the best D line going into this year before the season, Florida State, and does not
KJ,
appear to be the case.
Did you see what your good friend Emmanuel Acho had to say after the Florida State loss?
Thankfully, I didn't.
Okay.
But I'm all ears.
He got on Twitter and he was like a selfie video,
A vlog.
and he was it was like a pep talk for Florida State. Not really. I mean, he was just like, he was sharing in their experience because he was on the 2009 and the 2010 Texas team that played for a natty, and then it went 5-7 the following year. So he was like, he was like, yeah, I can relate. Like, we had a good defense in 2010. He listed off all the guys that got drafted from his defense. He's like, our problem was we had a bad quarterback. and just absolutely throws Garrett Gilbert under the bus for Garrett Gilbert's just sitting back, like, wait, what did I do? This is 14 years ago, but just goes at Garrett Gilbert. He's like, you guys have a bad quarterback, and I'm sorry. Like, we'll see where you go from here. Basically, just kind of talk shit at the same time.
The way he ends it, he's like, DJ, you've been put on notice or something.
Yeah.
He says something. It's like, yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
He's got to play better.
He knows that this is not going well.
Like, he didn't really need this.
He continues to be the cringiest guy in media.
I don't want to spend all day on Florida State, but I do want to earmark this, generic business term. Maybe come back to this a little bit later down the road. Are we going to see more of these like overconfidence and transfer portal quarterbacks, like being able to come in and save the day? Like, is that going to be a trap for some of these teams who would have otherwise developed a guy, built a program around a guy, even if he wasn't great? You look at North Carolina, they lost Max Johnson, who previously was at LSU and A&M, I want to say, broke his leg in game 1. Now they're having to turn to Harrell, I can't recall his first name, from here on out. Like, are we going to get a lot of these big name transfer quarterbacks? Okay, great. All our program needed was a quarterback. We've got a guy. And then it's just this disappointment. So anyhow,
people are saying maybe Dabo's onto something, man. Kind of a genius.
It's also interesting if you look at
good segue.
If you look at Dylan Gabriel, who
had
a really good season last year for OU, but they had a 5-star quarterback this is his second year in the program, and it's like unusual for a 5-star to sit for 2 years before taking over. They basically pushed a Heisman candidate out the door to accommodate their 5-star quarterback. I don't think anyone thinks that Jackson Arnold is going to have a better year than Dylan Gabriel, or that they didn't to start the season. So there are a lot of interesting dynamics with the quarterback, like musical chairs in the offseason.
And take that one step further. I mean, KJ Jefferson got pushed out of Arkansas similarly, and he was a starter and a productive starter at Arkansas. And then Dylan Gabriel's a good example of who was the guy that was with him? Mac, one leg, got his leg tore up at UCF. They were both at UCF.
Oh.
He got hurt. Dylan Gabriel came to start him, and then he goes to Florida State and was kind of playing that back and forth with Jordan Travis. So, like, we see this all the time. But to your point,
Milton.
Mac Milton, yeah, we see it all the time. But to your point, maybe it's kind of like just cover fire. You're trying to get the Alex Smith to like allow a Patrick Mahomes to come in and start. That's a terrible analogy. But to your point, I think it's good.
What kind of year did DJU have at Oregon State last year? I know he did
great.
He played better than he did at Clemson. He played
tremendous. Great. He got his head coach one of the first available big jobs out there. Granted, the conference was taking and he was going to go anywhere. Jonathan Smith is at Michigan State now.
I wonder why the regression.
But he threw for 3,400 yards. And he hadn't touched 3,000, I don't believe, before that at Clemson. Don't know.
Interesting.
Would you like to know where Mackenzie Milton is now?
Quarterback coach somewhere or Canada?
Basically, correct. Well, offensive analyst for the University of Tennessee. Good for him.
Who's on fire. We can go there or we can go, you brought up Clemson earlier. I'm good with either of those next.
Yeah, Clemson. I feel like all the talk is the Dabo is the lightning rod there, which is like really nice if you play there and you don't play well. Because, like, I feel like no matter what, like, you're not going to be – like, if DJU ironically started at Clemson, right? If he has those kind of games there, like, it's still like Dabo's getting all the heat and he's getting all the jokes made.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not ready to completely write off Clemson. They played an absolute wagon of a team who is going to beat – they're going to beat most teams that way. I mean – I think the storyline with Clemson is like, oh, Dabo just refuses to, adapt to modern day college football and the portal system and all that. And there's a lot of truth in that. But I still think they're going to have I think they're going to be a decent football team this year.
I've got
I
a
agree.
Clemson question. It pertains to Roddy White's tweet.
Yeah.
Was there really a time when there was 10 of the 11 guys were white dudes?
I don't know.
Can we fact check that?
I don't know.
That doesn't seem.
I wasn't watching the game and thinking similar thoughts as Roddy White, but that's just something that you kind of keep to yourself, I think.
Okay.
If you think
do
it.
have the rare advantage of having a white running back. And so if there was a play where maybe they ran multiple tight ends,
Two tight
one
ends.
Yeah.
wide receiver,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like they could have probably run out one personnel package, the Mayo package. I don't know what you would name it. Just
Probably
throwing
not the
things
Mayo
out there.
package.
He said the Mayo.
Named after the New England Patriots head coach, of course. Or former point guard for the Grizzlies and Mavericks, OJ. Yeah, that's a tough scene to be in if you're not BYU.
Okay. Hey, to be clear, personally, as for me, put a pin in this. It doesn't. I don't care either way. What matters to me is
Oh, yeah.
they play the game the right way and are going to class and things of that nature.
You're just trying to put the best players on the field.
That's all. That's all.
Sorry, I completely conflated that with the big game from last night, thinking about just the top teams that played this weekend. So let's do USC-LSU.
This is the most fun I had over the weekend.
Yeah.
Being a consumer on television. Just because you actually juxtapose, Dylan, the juxtaposition with the previous game the night before with Notre Dame and A&M.
Yeah.
You just had good quarterback play.
Yeah. So LSU loses to USC, their third straight season opening loss, which I didn't realize. And to their credit, they aren't scheduling, FCS or like weak opponents. I mean, but still, third season in a row, Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers have lost a season opener. He kind of had a little moment in the post-game presser. I can't stand the guy.
Can I guess what he did?
Sure.
He took the blame. He protected his kids, and he said, "No, this is on me, all on me."
he kind of did, but he also said he was angry with first time he's been angry with this team. He slammed his fist down on the table and just talking about how his team on the sidelines were acting like when they were up, the game was already in hand and they hadn't won. And he's just a red ass, unlikable prick. I can't stand Brian Kelly. He's a good football coach, but I couldn't imagine. I wouldn't want my son to play for him.
Yeah. Interestingly, these are kids he recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a coaching issue, if anything else. Now, he didn't. Now, his quarterback, I think, by most measurements, played really well.
Yeah.
And looks to be a good ball player. Now, he did. He kind of talked him up, right? He didn't throw him on the bus in any capacity, did he?
He had a quote that said the USC quarterback, who I didn't know anything about, by the way, Miller Moss is his name.
Fuck yeah.
He's pretty good. But he
Big.
said that their quarterback outplayed our quarterback. Is what he's something to that along those lines.
Okay.
My favorite moment, however, from this game was when wide receiver Kyron Lacey hit USC DB with a sawed-off shotgun celebration, which is basically he held up an invisible shotgun and blew this guy's brains out.
Now,
he
you're
was
saying
flagged for it.
so you're saying it was a sawed-off shotty?
It looked like a sawed-off shot.
And that'll get you more of a bigger spray pattern.
Yeah,
So hit more of target.
he basically just executed one of the DBs for USC with an invisible sawed-off shotgun.
Unless it was just a bird shot, in which case it will just – because you remember –
Dude, he gets flagged for it, and then he goes to the bench, and I guess he's explaining to his teammates what happened. So he's like, "No, I did this," and he did the same thing on the sideline. It was fucking hysterical.
It's look, it's
That
not
was
something
an all-time slow-mo shot by
Yeah.
ABC or ESPN, whoever had it, because they get his reaction face. It's like he gives big eyes right after he did it, and I'm like, he knows what the fuck.
Shot him
he
in the
just did.
face.
They thought, when it first got thrown, they thought it was him doing a little pelvis thrust.
Well, he did a pelvis
Which he
thrust.
did, and you're
Same guy.
you're like, oh, that okay, and then you're like, what the? I don't know if that's a flag.
And then-
it's a
and
little.
then they show the other, the second camera picked up
Yes. The assassination.
the second. Yeah. Yeah.
The gun violence.
The second celebration, the execution of the USC's defensive back.
That's something you do. Okay, you don't do. But
no.
maybe if it's a game where that's like your last series and they're about to bring in the backups because you're up like
Yeah.
38-3.
We've
You don't do that in a close game.
We've seen like gun celebrations in football before. There's that one that they all do. I don't know what it's called, but they go like that, like kind of in the air. Like
Get the gat?
Double pistols. No, it's not. It's not a get the
The
gat.
jaw?
And that's, I guess, is acceptable because you're not pointing in someone's face and pulling the trigger. That's just a little bit more violent.
It's a little bit more Yosemite Sam. Like,
yeah,
you're just kind of
we're firing celebratory shots
It's
into
a
the
celebration.
night sky. This was like, I'm going to kill this guy. I have a sawed-off shotgun. I'm going to shoot him point blank in the face.
Yeah.
And they flagged it, and it was hilarious.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I should have looked this up. Did USC turn that into points, that drive? I feel like they kicked a field goal, but I could be wrong.
I do not recall.
Okay.
Hard to say.
Truly.
As we're all of the age when the throat slash got ran out the building in the NFL, like I remember thinking back, like, you know what that is? That kind of makes sense. You should not be saying like, I'm going to cut your head off, post 9/11, or like I'm going to, open up that jugular vein. Something about this made me immediately feel like I was the old man in the room, or I was like, damn, that's aggressive. Like
it was.
I don't know how I'd react if somebody pulled that shit on me
in
the middle of a game and that they weren't like, I'm just getting ready for pheasant season. Like that's what he should have done.
I just imagine being in the ref's head, like watching that happen. Like, okay, we've seen gun celebrations before, but this one feels like he crossed the line as he just blew that young man's brains out.
Brett had the same thought as KJ, as it was opening weekend, dove season. And he should have just been like,
There
bro,
you
blasting
go.
birds.
It's because he held it
Yeah.
he held like the under the barrel so close. It was clearly like a shorter shotgun.
We're really
Sawed off.
Where's Zapruder filming this thing?
He wasn't like
No, it was not a typical.
it wasn't a typical
Gator hunting. It's LSU. They're gator
Hey,
hunting. That's what it should have been.
Is this
I
interesting?
want to see the first guy double tap. That's what we need next. A sack and then a double tap as the quarterback's laying down on the ground.
For reference, Dwayne Wade was once fined $25,000 for the throat slash gesture by the NBA.
Sheesh, that's a lot.
Bryce Harper once did the throat slash gesture. I don't know if he was
By the way,
fined.
I'm seeing the upside down opposing team hand sign carry over beyond Longhorn horns down. The USC quarterback kept doing the L down after the game. I don't know if y'all saw that. I saw
He was kind of forcing that.
Yeah. Who did Miami play? Florida? Where did
Yes.
they play?
Florida.
I saw a bunch of upside down U's in the stands. So it's other teams are getting some hate via hand sign as well.
Can I give a take on that game?
Yeah.
Cam Ward, pretty good.
He's good. He's good. Florida is also really bad. But yeah, Cam Ward appears to be pretty good.
I respect him for going to the press conference and saying that the swamp was not that loud and that Washington and USC were louder and that the Pac-12 was where like not real football, but like he's like, that's where football was played. Like gave a lot of credit to West Coast football. And everybody's like, oh man, you don't know shit. This is the swamp. I'm like, he just went in there and won.
That's true.
He's also played at those stadiums. Like, how much more credibility do you need? Like the guy's telling you these disengaged Florida fans suck.
KJ, and that's a great segue into this because he hasn't even gone into College Station, which nobody, you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is just going to go in there.
Toughest place to play.
Their
Davey.
first game with a new team against their old coach. No one's going in there and doing that.
Yeah, it's hard to call your stadium the toughest place to play when people do go in there and win, but it is an electric environment. I will give it to Aggies. They go crazy in that stadium.
It is very sick.
And it's like, what, 108,000, 109,000 people or something insane like that.
They got Ted Cruz in there.
It is a wild environment, so don't come at me, Aggies. But yeah, Notre Dame went in there and didn't have too much trouble leaving with a dub.
That game.
That was a fun game.
That was not, I mean, that was, what's my guy? What's my Cypress Fair guy? Connor Wegman?
Is that where he's from?
Yeah,
He had a rough
he's
game.
neighbors with Alyssa's uncle.
Really?
like 2 houses down. So
There's been the booty chatter on him is that he smokes a lot of weed. And
Oh,
it's just, and he's perma fried.
well, his little when they brought in the what's the
magician guy.
What's the magic guy?
Did you see this video, KJ?
Yeah, you did.
No.
You know the guy.
The mentalist.
The
He's
mentalist.
the mentalist. They brought him into the meeting room for, the Aggies, whatever. And he pulls Connor Wegman up there. I think I'm saying his last name correctly. I don't care. They brought him up there, and he was like, "All right." He had this like invisible, packet or deck of cards, and he was like, "All right, now pick a card." And he did the whole thing.
Put it in your shoe.
Yeah, and it was in his shoe. I don't know how the hell he did it. It was a really impressive trick. But Connor Wegman was like, "Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Nah,
Bro,
man.
nah.
I ain't with that.
Nah." He's like, "No, seriously, bro." And like people are like, "I didn't know he talked like that."
KJ, I texted our group, me
You did.
and Jay, and I was like, dude, he's kind of a dud. He does not give off inspiring leader. Granted, I'm going to give him a break. Just a kid, 18
He
years old.
sounds like
whatever.
a total dum-dum.
But man, I can't imagine that dude in the huddle getting me ready to run through the wall.
Yeah, Message Board Geniuses, which is a really fun account to follow on Twitter. They're pulling all kinds of A&M message board stuff, talking about how this guy just smokes too much weed. He's just a total idiot. Anyway, he went 12 for 30, 100 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Just had an absolute stinker of a football game.
It was really ugly.
He looked bad. So, yeah, Notre Dame went in there, left with the dub.
Good thing they pushed out Haynes King.
Pushed out Haynes King.
That's unnecessary, like not even tied to what's going on here. It makes me think back to Kirk Herbstreit. I don't know if it was the Bear who posted it. The guy who used to be on the game day, but they did that unnecessary interview on the way back to the airport after leaving A&M following their last disappointing loss.
Yes.
And I had the audio somewhere. I couldn't find it. And Herbstreit's going in on them like, I don't know why we hype this place up so much. It's beautiful. There's a lot of tradition, a lot of people. It's a lot of fun, but they don't win the big games. So why do we always get our hopes up expecting this to be some dynamic event? And A&M doesn't win any big games. What was the last big win they had here? And Manziel beating Alabama was in Alabama. So they couldn't even point to like a pivotal moment there in College Station, which I was like, as much as I don't love A&M by any means, like that was very, very accurate and unfortunate. It still seems to be the case.
I think I'm still a Mike Elko fan. Mike Elko?
Really? Why?
I like how he just appears to be a guy who's kind of given up on the. I just kind of, he's like, somebody, was it you? Maybe it was Big Cat. Somebody on Twitter said, it was Big Cat, I think. Like, just he picked up what was on the floor and clean.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got that one sweatshirt that they just they wear it around the house because the AC is too cold.
My tweet was, he's built like he's won best ribs at the county fair 3 years in a row.
Okay, that's very specific. Yeah, I like it because he's like, I'm going to put on this hoodie and we're going to do it.
Yeah, he looks very just kind of dumpy and good old boyish.
I still think it's a good hire. I'm not willing to sell.
We're one game into his tenure.
Dylan, I'm not selling.
We're one game in. Let's give him time.
Sorry. Hey, A&M, you keep your head up. You got a big game coming up in a little while against Texas. Might have a chance.
Oh, okay.
No, it's in November, but
I know it's coming up though.
Yeah.
Might have a chance.
In College Station, and that's a tough place
Got
to
the
play.
#1 ranked Longhorns coming to town.
It could be at that point. They got to get to Georgia and Oklahoma.
Interesting.
And the other teams on their schedule. Texas looks good, though. It's not on the rundown here.
Talk Texas? Just say they look good.
Yeah, they look good. A lot of speed on that offense. A lot of speed. The secondary looks to be tough. And Arch got his first touchdown in burnt orange, which is exciting. 2 touchdowns.
And gave an ode to Drew Lock as he was coming off one of the slickest touchdowns I've seen in a while.
That was a cool touchdown. What was that celebration that he did? Sauce was actually explaining it to me.
I have no idea, but all I could think of was the Drew Lock celebration. It wasn't the Drew Lock, but that's all it came to me.
Something like, I don't know, it was weird. I don't know. I'd never seen it before, but it looked like a Drew Lock.
I don't know what it was. He hit that hoe though. There you
kind of hit it though.
Like with all due credit,
he eat that shit.
Arch,
yeah,
he hit that shit.
I saw his old man at Matt's Rancho the night before. Matto Ranchos.
Name dropper here. This guy goes to restaurants with the Mannings.
Cooper. Saw him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, he's the funniest one.
I get it. Yeah, makes sense. He was cracking us up at dinner.
Really? You
No,
ate with him?
I didn't talk to him.
Did you tell him to go? Did you walk over and say, "Hey, man, love what you're doing. By the way, try him poncho style."
I should have.
Where else do we need to go? I mean,
I don't know who put this note in here about Texas Tech.
man, I wasn't glued to my phone on ESPN Plus watching Abilene Christian.
Just take Tech to the wire.
I was.
I
Were
really
you?
was. That was
Yeah.
They did pull it out. They won the game overtime. Abilene Christian.
shout out to them for. I was really upset that they did not go for 2 at the end of regulation. I was like,
Ellen
man,
Christian.
yeah. I was like,
Mhm.
dude, what are you
You
doing?
got- you have
got
to.
go for 2.
You
here.
have to.
Fuck it. And then you go to overtime. Tech goes down, does their thing. Then you got to go. You score, and then you go for 2. Play just got blown up. It
That's
was
like-
kind of one of those doom from the start plays. But
Underdog on the road 101 is you go for 2 there.
yeah.
You don't play for OT.
Um,
And you do it before they have all that rest time. That's like the pivotal difference. People will say, oh, well, they didn't get the 2 in overtime. They wouldn't have got it at the end of the game. Like, no, you've had a break. You've had your coaches to be able to sit there and retool and like focus in on red zone defense. Like, no, you keep going in that moment. But anyways,
yeah, and I don't know what happened. Like, I know Tech wasn't good last year. I don't think their defense was this bad. I mean, it's one game, but it is Abilene Christian. It's not like they ran up against like North Dakota State. You know what I mean? Like it's a team that you should not be. It's a FCS
or
team.
Nevada.
It's not. It's really bad. Oh, good call, KJ. They gave up like 500 yards or something, and then you look at their schedule and the big like, what's Arizona gonna do? It's crazy.
Hope they can beat Colorado. though.
Woo!
Arizona.
Oh boy. I mean,
They're
that
good.
was another game that started off way closer than it should have. Even though wide receiver, whose name I can't recall right now, 6'4" wide receiver, he had like 3 touchdowns in the first half, but it was like a 21-24 game going into halftime. It was quite close. It did not finish close at all, but it was close.
McMillan.
I was watching. Yeah, McMillan. I was watching as a complete hater of any team out there that was going to struggle against a team they should have absolutely handled. It just so happened to be Tech fell into that category. The other big one was Oregon. I watched every minute of Oregon as I thought Idaho was going to pull off an upset in Oregon. But of course, things change. Watching Dylan Gabriel, not that impressive. But week 1, you've got a team who prepares all freaking off season for you. You're preparing for, the next 3 games if it's not that big of a team to you. Last thing on Tech, though, how have they not played Abilene Christian in like 60 or 70 years? That
Yeah.
made no sense.
Aren't
to
they
me.
close to each other? A little short bus
Yeah.
ride away.
Probably 3 hours ish.
Oh, is it that?
Quite a bit.
It's
that
West
far.
Texas.
I know.
It's close, but not like as close
Yeah,
as it feels
yeah,
like
got
it
it.
should be. In my head, it should be where Sweetwater is, and that's not quite it.
2.5.
Did you guys catch any highlights of the Tennessee game over the weekend? They didn't play
Only the
anybody
numbers.
worth mentioning, but their quarterback is a freshman, Nico. I'm gonna take a shot at this last name, and not everyone would be brave enough to do that. I am a Liava. I am
Italian.
a Liava. Not Italian. I don't believe. Anyway,
Why not? How do you know?
do you see this kid throw the rock, Dave?
No, I heard how good he was.
He
or how good
might
was.
have the best arm in college football. It is freaking unbelievable how this kid can spin it. Absolute. I mean, he's a tall, lanky dude. Has a very whippy throwing motion and just absolutely just slings it around the yard. He's really impressive.
Long Beach.
He has #1 overall pick written all over him if he can stay the course and develop some. He's super talented. So yeah, we'll see how good that kid ends up being this year. Can't remember if he's a true or a redshirt freshman, but he's really young.
True.
True freshman.
Does Texas does not play Tennessee this year, do they?
No, they don't play Tennessee.
Okay.
No.
We talked about Nico a couple years back I believe. Whenever NIL first started, Quinn Ewers was like our first big headline of him getting $1 million from Honesty or whatever. But Nico was in high school and garnering all of this attention and all of the rumblings about, hey, this high school kid is getting millions of dollars promised to him. And you go look him up, and a lot of it was because he was big on TikTok and on social media for being, so tall, slender, but always like all of his hype videos were him in like pajama pants.
Yeah.
Like that was
exactly
his look.
right.
He had a very distinct look and very good online. And it's cool to see it come to fruition. I'll have to check out how his coach is doing this year.
Yeah, we'll check in on him. I heard he got in better shape for the season.
That's what I'm saying. You never know. New shit each year.
Hey, before we jump back into it, can I give a big shout out to our good friends at DraftKings?
Please, Dave.
DraftKings Sportsbook. NFL Week 1's here, and a new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like, picking a player's score touchdown. Shouldn't be that difficult. Dylan, who you like who's scoring for Texas? Who you think?
Ooh, give me
The wingman?
Wingo. That dude's gonna be a dog.
Yeah.
Give me Jaden Blue, running back.
Jaden Blue. I like it. Head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, I was peeping these lines earlier for the show. I'm like in Arkansas going into Stillwater, getting 7.5. I'm all over that money line for Arkansas, but getting 7.5. Arkansas is not bad. I think Oklahoma State's a little overrated. I don't know. The Ponies laying 10.5. Ponies laying 10.5 against BYU. Okay. KJ, we'll have to see how you feel about that. It's a Friday night game, right? Interesting.
Cover.
You like that? Okay.
Cover.
Check it out. If you're ready to do a little touchdown dance of your own, head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the best place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WASHED. That's code WASHED for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. You could almost feel me die a little when I had that one little slip up in there, because otherwise it was perfect.
It was a nice recovery, Dave.
Yeah, I wobbled. That's me. It's that boy.
Shout out to friend of the program, Davis Warren. Just getting the nod, getting the start at Michigan against Fresno State.
Fresno State, feisty.
They won 30-10. They're using they're changing the quarterbacks out, doing like a dual quarterback system for now. But big ups to our boy.
Is that a don't show anything to Texas play, you think? Because they've got Texas this week.
I think it's probably more of like let's see who steps up and when the lights are on kind of a thing, and see who performs better.
I've got full confidence in my guy Davis.
He was getting some props on the broadcast by just being a guy, having a good arm and
dog behavior.
So big ups to Davis. I got Texas this weekend, man. Coming to the big house, 11 a.m. kick.
I think that's gonna be kind of a dirty game, kind of a grinding game.
Michigan has a defense, man.
They do.
They have two defensive tackles who are like first round caliber. They have a All-American cornerback. And it's gonna be a tough game. I'm very excited for it. I'm feeling good, cautiously optimistic about Texas' chances going in there, but it's gonna be a hard-fought, tough game.
I would be remiss if I didn't note that the Bobcats, the much gassed up Texas State Bobcats in San Marcos, they looked a little sloppy.
Mm.
I think they were like, I don't know, they were 30-plus point favorites, and that was at some points like a one-score game or less. And it also seemed like they were doing not wanting. I don't know. The thought was they were giving some end of the second half or end of the first half. Excuse me. They were letting the backup. They gave him 2 series, and everybody's like on Twitter, like, "What is McLeod hurt or whatever? What's going on?" No, they were just giving series to the backup, and it was like, well, maybe they don't want to show UTSA anything because they got UTSA this weekend, and I'm like, why are they fucking around? Like, first of all, they were sloppy as hell, a lot of penalties, and it's like, dude, you're playing Lamar. You're supposed to blow Lamar out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. First game, still believe in GJ, but little sloppy from my Cats. And I might be going down there Saturday. We'll see. I'm trying to get a little crew.
There's a freshman wide receiver for Alabama who skipped his senior year of high school. His name is Ryan Williams, 5-star kid. He caught 2 touchdown passes on Saturday, and they're both like 50-yard plus. He caught 2 balls and scored twice. He looks to be unbelievable. 17 years old. Pretty nuts.
17.
Went to the same high school that Texas commit KJ Lacey went to, or goes to currently, the quarterback commit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Any other thoughts? Any notes from college football? Anything we missed?
That's all I have.
Georgia looked really good.
No.
Georgia's
Kinda touched
good.
on it.
Alabama looks good. Ole Miss looks good. Texas look good. We'll see.
I'll
when
just say it because I'll say it until the end of time. Any rankings that you see this week or otherwise that have teams like Alabama or Ole Miss like ranked ahead of teams like USC or who else beat a good team? Oh, Notre Dame are trash. Let the schedule take care of it. You can't rank somebody higher because they beat Furman. That's stupid. Anyways.
Did you see who went off?
they used to call Dave the fur man in college.
They did. That was my when I was in Cash Money Records. I was the fur man.
I thought it was for a different reason.
I'd fly in any weather.
Oh.
You would just chase fur all over the place.
What do you mean? Like I was a fur trapper, like back in the pioneer days?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Open-minded.
All
right.
I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know. Did you guys see there's a running back out of the Arkansas team who went off against Pine Bluff.
I knew this was coming.
What is that young man's name?
It's Jaquindon Jackson.
Ah, there we go.
Been a while.
Dude, I'm very excited to watch him and watch Arkansas actually because I'm Woo Pig Davy, and I'm very
WPS.
Yep, it's your boy.
They got the horns this year.
I know. Is that home game?
It's there.
You should go.
Yeah,
I should go.
you should go.
I probably won't go unless someone offers me free room and board around a golf and maybe pays for my tickets.
Okay, it's not asking much.
I'm just saying. Look, just saying, dude. 6'2" running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's a new development. That's a very useful player to have.
Pad level looked excellent.
Yes.
He did not run like a 6'2" running back.
No.
Looked phenomenal.
Pokes better be careful. They're coming in with a lot of hype.
There's a direct correlation between team has a successful game on a Saturday or whatever, and then people will start playing with them in college football 25. Because I've now played Alabama or Arkansas like 6 times in the last 4 days, relative to before that in the last month, maybe twice. Same thing with USC, but watching Jaquindon Jackson, dice me up for first down here and there. I'm just like, okay, this is not only devastating, but I've got to hit the bell in my head every time I see it happen.
And he was a quarterback, right, at Duncanville.
That's Randy,
So-
a great pull.
So
Randy.
we're gonna get to see some trick plays from him.
Oh, maybe.
You didn't really see those at Utah, but he's certainly capable. Certainly capable. By the way, the Panthers open up with South Oak Cliff coming off of just a massive ass whipping against North Shore. The infamous North Shore, who's always in the state championship. South Oak Cliff got just run. And did you see the note that the also state champion DeSoto Eagles took down that Georgia team?
He
That
destroyed them.
It was a 5A runner-up, and I don't know anything
What
about
their
Georgia
top
high school.
classification is.
Yeah, but I don't know. Apparently they were talking shit. I don't know. But Georgia or DeSoto took them down 70-0, which to travel all that way, wherever that, I don't know where that game
Texas
took place.
high school football is no joke.
It's tough.
Although the national rankings, you see that
6A.
Mater Dei out of California is ranked number 1 in the nation, right above your Duncanville Panthers, Dave.
Man, I'm not so sure DeSoto shouldn't be up there. DeSoto's pretty nasty too.
I'm taking Duncanville in a match against Mater Dei.
Okay.
Say what I said.
The Church of Mater Dei Saints.
I said what I said.
I don't know how you say it. I was gonna say Mater D. I think I said that last year and I got made fun of. Whatever.
I think it's
Just waiting
Mater
to show
Dei.
you to your table.
They're like the IMG of California. They just
Yeah.
recruit and
Yeah, get out of here.
yeah.
Where do you guys want to go from here? You guys want to talk tennis?
NFL.
Oh, NFL. I thought you want to talk Pagula. No, I'm kidding. I just found out.
Tennis.
I did just find out. Tennis. Joke for 3. I just found out that Pagula was that Pagula. She's the.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah. Which it was a better joke to make before, not saying you shouldn't, but I enjoyed reminding Brett of her success when he could like actively talk shit about the family that owns the Bills and how they've ruined them, the Sabres. And then like the matriarch of that family is like fallen on ill times. So not as fun. Anywho,
Darn it.
NFL.
Sorry.
I think it's worthless to talk any actual games coming up, but I figure I'd do some quick hits of changes and what's on the on the horizon for the NFL. I think we've all been beaten to death with knowing there's a new kickoff rule a new kickoff rule. I haven't actually seen too many live shots of it in preseason, as you know, who cares? But I do think it'll be an interesting change. I don't want to go through it too much, but I guess how familiar are you with the new rule?
I've seen it done in preseason.
Yeah.
You can't move.
So they don't.
No one can move until the ball is caught or it hits the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that makes me think it's going to be any way cooler. Like I've not had a moment where I'm like, oh fuck, this is it.
I don't think it's meant to be cooler. I think it's meant to be safer.
Yeah. Well, safe is cool in my book.
Safe is cool. I agree.
Well, for almost everything, right, Randy?
Sure. Is this how the XFL did it?
How is Japan?
Oh, this is good. Arigato for asking.
Wow. I shouldn't have. I was going to reference Bill Parcells thing. It would have looked ill upon me and not Bill Parcells.
Okay.
Anyways, on the kick returns really quick, the only thing that's kind of going to throw people off, I think, is that there are situations in which you can end up with a touchback or a down ball that lands that the receiving team starts on the 20, the 30, or the 40. Previously, it was like you got a touchback or they kick it out of bounds and it's on the 40. Like now it can be the 30 or the 20. And there's some minor details as to what that is. Like if the ball goes into the end zone, lands there or whatever in the end zone, and you down it, you get it on the 30. But if it bounces and rolls in, you only get on the 20. So it's going to be some weird fuckery that we see. So whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Some weird fuckery, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before we go to the schedule, I do want, Randy, if you could bring up the picture, speaking of protection and whatnot. As a new rule this year, players have the opportunity to play in games with the Guardian cap. And if you see an image right here, this, I believe, is of Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Colts. He's not going to be wearing one in the games, but former SMU tight end Kyle Granson and Colts tight end will be wearing one in the game.
Is this kind of like the hockey equivalent of like the face mask that's optional that no one wears because it's not cool? Although it's probably like a really good idea to wear it. Like this is about protecting your brain. So
Yeah.
you should like let guys do it, even though it might look a little silly. But it does look a little silly.
Yeah. No, it's probably the right comp. I mean, look, if there's certain positions where you're having like the micro, what is it? If you're on the line and you're not getting like your quote
Mhm.
bell rung every play, but you're getting the micro hits and like
Yeah.
over time, those, like, I totally get it.
I mean, your NFL career is going to last, what, 5-6 years, and then you have the rest of your life to think about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to wear a Guardian cap, I'm not going to make fun of you for it.
Are you
but
sure?
plenty of people will, surely.
It's just one of those things where you just don't do it on the show, but out there.
No, I mean, dude. I mean, we're
Out
talking
there.
brain protection here. It's kind of
Yeah.
a big thing.
Would you even notice it from like the normal view, or I'm curious
I
how
don't-
noticeable
This
it
is actually less obvious than what I was picturing. Like you see, like in like training camp, they wear like the big thick ones. They look
Yeah.
pretty goofy. This is like not as bad.
It's the same. They just painted it, which is what
It doesn't look
makes
as
me
thick,
wonder,
though.
like, why not? Why would you even put the ones in practice that aren't painted? Because I think, to your point, people would be quicker to adopt the thought of this when they're not mandated if they just looked a little cooler,
I predict
which is stupid, but yeah.
that as the weeks go on, I think more and more guys are going to be like, you know what, that guy's doing it. And people are used to it now. I'm gonna go for it. It's going to get more and more popular. It's not going to take over. I don't think like it's going to be like most guys on the field, but you'll see it sprinkled in.
You know, like whatever the players want to do, I'm an ally.
Dave's an ally. That's great, man.
Still in my line. Yeah, I'm all for it. You know, I won't dwell too much on it, but I just thought it was, I don't know. It's jarring to see. And I think that the conversation and the amount of times that they're going to show it and every announcer is going to talk about it is going to create more of the blowback than like the actual players on the field and the people in the rooms.
It'll get normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
it
think
will.
like I could totally see Jerry being against this because it like, you know what I mean? Like the
That he
sanctity
like
of the
pays for the
star.
specific sheen of the star. Exactly.
I could see him being like very much like my players aren't going to wear it or something. Like I feel like this would be something he would hate.
I mean, they used to wear leather helmets back in the day. When they introduced the plastic ones, it was like, oh my God, these look fucking ridiculous. You know, this is just like the next evolution.
Then they filled those up with nachos, and now here we are with fucking marshmallow helmets.
Oh my God, dude. There's nothing better than getting
Okay.
a shitty bowl of nachos and a little helmet.
There's nothing better. And then
Schedule hits.
chase it with the
I'm
ice
sorry,
cream
go
in the helmet.
Oh, baby. Speaking my lang. What?
Quick schedule hits. NFL starts this Thursday. I think we're all aware of that. I believe we've got the Chiefs and Ravens doing kickoff.
Yep.
Great. Who knows? Who cares? I'm sure you've got your lineup set. Whatever. What is new this year is we've got a few weeks with Friday night games, including week 1, which I'll open it to the floor, but Packers and Eagles will be playing in fucking Brazil on Friday night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. I don't know. This will be more fun. This should be more interesting than when they go play in Wembley or wherever. Like, don't they? They go play.
Interesting how so? In what way?
It seems like there is a more. Oh, actually, it just seems like a more passionate fan base.
Like they give a shit.
The,
Yeah, I
the
don't
crowd shots won't include
Okay.
Governor Duval or whatever the guy is, like in the cheetah suit. Like you're going to get better crowd shots than the generic shit you get in London.
Look, I don't know what your recommended looks like. No, I'm kidding. No, I just think Brazil's different. I don't know. What time zone is this? I know it's south of us, obviously. I know that much, but I'm curious what time this is going to be played.
know. Can't look that up. I don't know.
I don't know. Randy, you're the time zone expert here. Why don't you tell us?
What time zone?
2 hours
is?
ahead.
2 hours ahead. Okay, great to know. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like a real beating for the teams. Like to have to start. I know you get like the mini bye week afterward, but this seems like a real pain in the ass for the teams. And I'm sure they're not happy about it, but I don't know. I heard Sirianni talking and he wasn't like, he seemed to be, you could kind of tell that he wasn't real stoked, but he's like, oh, we're embracing it. Nothing we can do, whatever. But I would hate to kick off my season by having to fly.
Mm-hmm.
What's that flight looking like? Can't be great.
from
Champion.
Philly and fucking Green Bay. Like we could have picked better options
Yeah.
logistically. I feel like
I feel
Yeah,
like the
fair
what
Dolphins.
team's going to resonate with the culture of Brazil other than Green Bay? I guess you've got two of the colors in your flag. Like you've started there.
Great point. I feel like I need a big contingency of Philly fans to go down there for this. Just because I just want to see how that goes.
Copacabana with Philly, South Jersey fans just filling up the beaches and
God.
tennis shoes and jorts. No
Oh.
offense. But yeah, we get a Black Friday game on a Friday, obviously, as well. But 5 international games, including Germany and Brazil, blah, blah, blah. The important one, December 19th through the 25th. You get games on 5 of 7 days, including 2 games on Christmas Day, which is on a Wednesday this year. I don't want Christmas Day NFL unless it's a Sunday or Monday or whatever. And B, not only is that going to be running up against the NBA Cup, which I know we all hold near and dear to our hearts, but the 12-team college football playoff starts on December 20th and the 21st. So like they're scheduling directly against college football that Saturday and that Friday or whatever, wherever abouts on that schedule. And that's kind of shitty. Like it's hectic enough that we're losing Capital One bowl season. Like that ship has sailed.
Agree. And I honestly had not. Thank you for reminding me of the NBA Cup. I had not thought about that since the NBA Cup.
Bring back the courts.
Oh my God.
Is that the midseason tournament thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot. I hadn't thought about that.
With
No,
the wacky courts.
I'm also disappointed that Christmas is on Wednesday. I feel like that's a little bit awkward. I don't know. We'll probably take the whole. I don't know. We'll take the latter part of the week. I don't know. Anyway,
small business owner immediately goes the logistics of how this is going to work out.
Who do you want to complain to that about?
I don't know.
It's on a Wednesday. Like, who's going to fix that?
I don't know. Randy's probably going to book a trip to Argentina or some shit like 2 weeks before. Okay.
Yeah, catch me watching college football playoffs in lieu of a regular season NFL game.
Yeah, I don't like NFL games on Christmas Day. I don't. I like the solo NBA thing. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Huh.
That's all I got for what's
right.
on the horizon.
Well, party.
Otherwise,
Let's do a quick party.
Jags and 6.
Oh, Jackson.
Quick sports party. 49ers rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot during an armed robbery attempt. Luckily, it went straight through his chest and out his back and hit no major organs. He's expected to fully recover. Pretty scary.
It was a botched robbery.
He got the
bad
toolie
name.
from him and shot the guy.
I'm sorry, KJ. What?
I hate myself.
No, go ahead.
I'm not even saying it again.
What do you say?
He said,
Sing.
I believe it was a Bon Jovi ref.
Shot through the heart. Okay.
Again, it missed
hit his heart.
vitals.
Didn't hit his heart.
He
thankfully.
lived.
This would have been a much more somber note had it hit his heart.
It was
Yeah, it
either
would.
this or I was going to bring it up in connection with the LSU celebration. Like they were just talking about, hey, did you hear about Ricky Pearsall?
Wow. Do you think they're linked?
Move on. I shouldn't do this.
Flag football in the Olympics.
Did we talk about this already?
Okay, I don't know. KJ.
I don't know if we talked about the comment from the quarterback or not. Did we talk about this? You might have talked about it on circling back.
I think
is what
we
happened.
referenced it, and I feel like after I went back and got context and listened to the kid, I was like, oh, this kid's actually right. Like what he's saying is
He was wanting to like make sure the players who built this up had a chance to stand to benefit from it
yeah.
or whatever. And the internet like snowed him in, being like, yeah, if Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes shows up, like you're hitting the bricks, kid.
Well,
I
and
agree.
And there's flag football. Not that I've played a ton of flag football, but I did. I played enough in college to know. I mean, it is not the same game
At all. And the state of Texas will be the first to stand up and tell you that the flag football scene there, having played in it, having been embarrassed in it, having seen, I can't remember his name, who got kicked off of Texas for having a gun in his backpack several years ago, Ramont's Taylor. Watching him dominate the flag football scene for years, like it is a world unlike any other. So if teams were to be put together by the NFL exclusively and flag football, and they played flag football rules, I'm taking flag football 9 times out of 10. Shouts to the women's side of the teams or whatever that'll go to the Olympics in a couple of years. As I didn't realize, I previously played like on a couple co-ed teams with the quarterback for the women's national team, and apparently she's like a big effing deal. Had no clue. So
Nice.
I just wanted to share that 2 cents, name drop, but also one up flag football.
Very
Plus
cool.
1.
And I want to give, even though some members of the show were actively rooting against Colorado,
Me.
I was wondering who added this.
I wanted to give Dion props because I did see a nice a clip of him gassing up when they were watching film. And I don't know how much of this was planned, but he was gassing up North Dakota State. And he was doing it in it seemed like a genuine manner. I don't know. But talking about this is why they've won so many championships. This is why, this is what they do, blah, blah, blah. And it seemed like this is good coaching here. Now it doesn't overshadow many of the other things, but I'm here to balance it out. And I think they're going to get run by Matt Rule in Nebraska this weekend. But I wanted to give Dion his props.
All right.
Another freshman quarterback looking good.
Dylan Raiola.
Mm-hmm.
Another Italian guy.
I
What?
was going to say another D, man.
Shall we run it back?
Oh, it's good. Yes.
The segment during which you talk about what we already talked about. Meme of the day has been retired on Hawk Tua's Twitter. It's too bad. Clemson's Mayo package is an all-white personnel grouping.
Who said that joke?
I believe that was KJ.
Mm-hmm.
Roddy
LSU's
White,
wide receiver executed that guy with a sawed-off shotty. Dave was called the Fur Man in college. Quinton Jackson went off against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And finally, safer is cooler in most, but not all, cases, Randy.
Yep.
And that concludes Run It Back.
Oh, dude, Haley Welch, she just tweeted, "It's finally time. I can't wait to tell my story. Talk to a pod coming soon."
Oh, thank God.
Okay, that is a good
Hell
name for a
yeah.
pod. Give her credit. She probably didn't come up with it, but that's a good name for her podcast.
I'm looking for her last meme of the day, and it just appears she hasn't really done one.
It's too bad.
Oh yeah,
That's
this
a-
one's Wolf of Meme Street, and it's her. That's cool.
That sounds awesome.
Sick.
All right.
That's good payback for all the bad puns about Tua Tagovailoa's name and hers on their fantasy football teams,
Yep.
on people's fantasy football teams.
Pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, what?
What's your fantasy football team's name, Dave?
Shut. I can't say it. It's really. I have a.
It just says Misha and it cuts off.
No, it's not a Big Mike joke. It's Bo Dix.
Bo Dix.
Okay.
I've started this
I
bit
like it.
6 years ago when the name thing was getting out of control, and I was like, I'm just gonna do the most obvious, stupid, juvenile names I can think of. So there you go.
Better than Jagoffs or Saxonville Jagoffs.
I
That's
think
not even good, but I ride with it.
that's fine. I look. Props to you. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.